Hey guys, this is Daryl. Today, Jess, Ryan, Hunter, and myself are going to be talking to you guys about growth mindsets. And to kick us off, we'll have Ryan reminding you guys of what is a growth mindset.
First, let's review and compare the fixed and growth mindsets. If an individual is in a fixed mindset, they tend to assume that their abilities are fixed and cannot change. As a result, they tend to avoid challenges and failure because they focus too much on the outcome rather than their growth. In contrast, if an individual is in a growth mindset, they believe that they have the capacity to grow and improve their skills, leading them to pursue challenges as opportunity for growth and learn from their failures. Overall, an individual's mindset can have a drastic impact on their behavior, performance, and success. As with any activity in life, growth will occur more often and in greater amounts if we are able to pursue risk and opportunity, focus on growth rather than success, and learn from our failures.
Having a growth mindset is important because it changes the way we view problems, and we all know that there will always be challenges in life. A person with a growth mindset does not look at limits of the environment you're in or your genetics. This is valuable to life because the love of learning and development of resilience is essential to accomplishing great things. When you praise hard work and effort instead of talent, you increase the learning potential instead of capping it off at a limit. A growth mindset can help a performer increase persistence in the face of failure. Challenges and setbacks are seen as learning points. The performer can learn from deficiencies because they know what they need to work on. But in order to utilize the skill, we must recognize that mindsets are beliefs. We have a choice to how we approach problems. An important way to have a growth mindset is simply to learn about what mindsets you have in certain aspects of performance. This chart helps depict how important your psychological interpretation to a response is to the outcome. Those thoughts can turn into actions.
This is your growth mindset activity. First, you need to make sure that you have something to write with and something to write on. So notice my high-speed demonstrator. He has both something to write with and something to write on, and we'll be showing the rest of the growth mindset activity so that you have an idea of what it is exactly you should be doing. Once you have something to write with and something to write on, go ahead and take a minute or two to think of a skill that you want to improve. A couple of examples could be public speaking, running a 2-mile, or any of many mental skills, and then write it down on that sheet of paper. All right. Once you have taken the time to go ahead and write that down, I want you to think of 2 major challenges that are keeping you from improving that skill. And then go ahead and write those down as well. All right. Once you've written down those challenges, you need to go ahead and think about one way for each of those challenges that you can slightly improve your skill. Just make sure this is just something small. You don't need to take a big drastic measure in this. It just be something small. Keep it in mind that growth is a series of small events that build up improvement. It's not just one drastic change that happens suddenly. It's going to be a series of small events. So just write down one small change that you can make for each of those challenges that will overall improve your skill.
Alright, so just to show you guys what I did, here at the top I have my skill that I want to improve, which is public speaking. And right below that I have my 2 major challenges. The first one is that my mind sometimes goes blank when I'm presenting in front of a large group of people. And the second is that I sometimes have a problem with stuttering. So below that, I have my steps for improving, and I don't know if you could read my writing, but basically what this point up here is saying is that I want to practice talking about unfamiliar topics with people that I'm comfortable with. And the idea behind this is that talking about those unfamiliar topics will force me to think more on my feet, but because I'm talking with someone that I know, it shouldn't be that scary. And the second point says that I want to practice consciously taking a breath at the start of each sentence. I noticed that I often try to say everything that I want to say in one breath, and it's usually around the time that I start running out of air that I start stuttering. So, the point of this training was to help you practice your growth mindset by embracing a challenge that you have. We wanted you to see that when you break it down and tackle it piece by piece, it may not be as impossible as you once thought. Hopefully, as you overcome this challenge, you realize that your persistency and your effort paid off, and hopefully that inspires you to embrace some other challenges. So now we're going to be talking about our key takeaway points. So for key points to take away, the first one we have is break big challenges into smaller ones. The key to reaching those goals that seem unattainable is by making sub-goals. Breaking these goals down into smaller pieces is not only helpful and motivating, but it is actually pretty important. Breaking the big challenges into smaller challenges allow you to really understand the different components that play a role. If you gain a good understanding of these components, you can think of it as ultimately setting a strong foundation for the main goal. The second point we have is to praise effort rather than talent. It's just like the saying goes, hard work beats talent. As Jess had said earlier in the presentation, you increase your learning potential when you praise effort because going through the process allows you to have a better understanding of the overall goal. Someone who is talented misses out on the understanding of this process, and when they are finally faced with a challenge, they will be very lost and confused as to how to solve the problem. And the final point we have is growth is a process, not a singular occurrence alone. As Hunter had said, an important thing to remember is that growth takes time. Having a growth mindset does not mean you are going to suddenly have the ability to immediately achieve any goal that you want. Having the growth mindset means that you are persistent in reaching your goal. Rather than letting setbacks stop you from achieving your goal, you learn from them and overcome them. And now moving on to our discussion points. Ma'am, class, that concludes our presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us. If not, here are our discussion questions. And yeah, thank you.